you might want to try it because it's not sweet, it's sour.
Okay, that's good. Vern Kyle here. Today we are trimming under the string line, and I'm going to ask Tamara a few questions about checking grade. Where exactly are you measuring when you're checking these gutters?
On straight face curb and gutter, 1 meter from the string.
1 meter from the string. So that's basically the face?
Nope, that's the lip.
The lip. Okay, we're measuring on the lip. Most of the time people have a tendency to get a little bit of a crown in the road and get the base of the curb a little bit
low in the back.
That's right, low at the back. So if the grade person is measuring at the back, it can be
you end up high in the place. The lip is where it matters. That's where your grades do. That's what your road's based off. If you're a little low in the back, it's okay. But if you measure the back of your curb and you end up a little high in the lip, then your concrete's not thick enough.
Yeah.
And that's bad.
That's right. What are you eating there? Leather?
It's crab apple fruit leather. I brought it out because I thought you might want to try it because it's not sweet, it's sour.
Okay, that's good. The material that I am working with here today is the 63 mil recycled material. When I am operating the grader, there's two things that I'm going to focus on. One is getting the subgrade close to grade in the area where the straight face curb is going to be poured, because that will determine the thickness of concrete. And two, I need to do it in a way that won't segregate this material. If you're not careful how you move this 63 around, the surface of the street will look like popcorn. So that's why Walter gave this area a good heavy shot of water before we even start. In front of me is a piece of rolled-faced monoberm that's ready for concrete. As I spin the camera around, you can see the concrete crew in the distance. That's the Gamaco down there, and they're pouring the monowalk. I'm going to attach the camera to my hard hat and go on board the grader. Sometimes the Gamaco will attach a trimming head and put the final touches on the subgrade under the curb. But that's not the case here today. And whatever we give them for grade is what the concrete is going to get poured on. When I do this, the first thing I always do is cut beside the numbers. That way, when you go to take out the numbers at the curb line, you can stay nice and level, at least almost level. This material is hard to cut. I'm going to tell you what I'm actually driving on here. First, we stabilize the clay in the bottom, and then we place this recycled material 300 millimeters thick. It is definitely solid. If you look closely, you can see how it's actually shearing off pieces of concrete as I bear down on it. And that's a good thing, because it creates more fines and helps reduce the segregation issue. Okay, I just turned around, and now I'm going to make a pass and actually take the numbers out. So I'm actually going to cut where the curb is going to be extruded by the Gamaco. There's a fill of 2, so I'm just going to lift up a little bit over that. Follow me, I'm going over a grade now. There's a grade dot. There's another grade dot. And now I'm coming to a cut of 2. So I'm bearing down on it a little bit. And here's another cut of 2. You see, because I made that previous pass and I designed it so when I make this pass, I can more or less stay level and focus on cutting my number there along the string. It's important to do that first step. Don't forget, even though there's a crown in the road, the bottom of the curb is completely level. And that's why this pass needs to be more or less level. Tamara will check this one more time, and I might have to come back and just tweak it a little bit more, and then we will water it and drum it. I'm watching my slope meter and bearing down on the right hand side there just to try to hold level. Now I'm coming up to a pretty good cut, a cut of 3, close to the string line there. So I'm generating a pretty good sized windrow. I'm cutting about a 3 here now. That's about as much as I can cut because it's so hard cutting. And now I'm coming up to a little bit of a fill. So I'm turning my circle and trying to get it in there. There's a fill of 2. Filling in a fill of 2. And there's a grade. And now I'm going around that area where there is a chicane, where the curb comes way out. Hopefully that'll turn out pretty close. Hopefully it'll be within 1 centimeter or so. And if it's not, I'll just tweak it, just adjust it a wee bit more later on after Tamara checks it. I just wanted to tilt the camera up to give you guys a perspective of what we're actually working on. This street is about 300 meters long, and of course, we're not concerned about the center of the street at all. We're only focusing on the outside perimeter where the curb goes. And just to repeat what Tamara said earlier, she is measuring at the innermost portion of the curb, because that's the portion of the curb that you can see as you drive down the street. It's an area that anyone could pull out a tape measure and check for proper depth of concrete. Lip of curb. It's also the spot where we set our boning rods when we're boning, or the spot where we set our string posts when we're stringing. Now, I've got some fills coming up here, and so I'm creating a windrow so that I have some material to put these fills in. I see a fill of 4 right there. I guess this stuff is hard to cut. You can, 2 or 3 centimeters is about all you can cut on it. It's that hard. There's a fill of 2. There's a fill of 3. And what are we coming up to here? A fill of 2. And then there's a cut of 1. And you see, I'm going to take this windrow a little past. There's another cut of 1. I'm going to take it a little past where I need it, because I'm about to turn around and place it from the other direction. Okay, I've turned around, and I'm just going to tilt the camera up so you guys can have a look at the big picture. Again, I'm breaking this 300 meter section down into segments. Some are fills, some are little fills, and some are little cuts. I'm just doing it segment by segment. Now I'm going to take this windrow and put these fills in. We'll see how that works out. I'm kind of loading up my blade right now, and you see that is the reason I took that windrow a little past. I actually took it 10 meters past where the fills go, because I knew I was going to load up my blade before I started filling. Here we go. I think there's a fill of 3 right there. Placing it in. And now I'm turning out, because here's one of these chicanes where the curb veers way in. I'm pleased how this is going in regards to segregation. There seems to be lots of fines, and I'm going to try to keep it that way by backblading this windrow instead of using my forward blade on it. If I tried to feather this windrow out using my forward blade, it would probably fall apart pretty badly. Now I'm going to switch to a different camera view and show you some of the end result. This is the exact spot where I was just backblading. The drum nicely breaks those chunks of concrete and makes it look a lot better. I think that's symphony in there. And Tamara is going to come over and remeasure this now, and hopefully it'll be okay. I just wanted to show you the actual end result. This is the same section of street, and with the straight face curb already poured on it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.